My tutorial on how to show you how to use OpenAI's GPT-4 Vision API. This is going to be a quick Python demo. What we're going to do is we're going to integrate Streamlit with it, give it a nice little user interface so that you can kind of see how it works. I'm going to walk through everything. I'm also going to make like a little blog kind of going through this as well. So let's get started. So here we've got our folder. Let's create a Python file. And then let's create a requirements.txt. I like to do this just to make it easier to install things. So we got these little packages. We got Streamlit, which are UI, OpenCV, which will help us is going to help us with the images, requests to make requests to the API. .mv is going to allow us to encode our API key, and then OpenAI is going to allow us to use the packages from OpenAI. So we'll go here, okay, let's go to our terminal. Let's go pip install requirements.txt. All right, now that we have that, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to import those packages. Okay, import Streamlit. Let's import CV2. Let's import base64. Import temp file. Import OpenAI. Import OS. And let's import requests. All right. So the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to initialize the API key. And you do that by putting it here. And then in this demo, you can just put your API key right here. And so go to OpenAI, log in, create, find your own API key. If you can't find your API key, I guess leave a comment. But maybe just do a little Googling. It's pretty easy to find. I just don't want to reveal my passwords, my API keys. So then we'll also create our OpenAI key dot. All right, so next what we're going to do is we're going to just define our main function. This is where the logic's going to be. And so what we'll do is this is where we're going to start using our Streamlit app. This is going to allow us to have a UI to kind of see how this works. We can just make requests with Python. That works great, but this is a little bit more of like a user-friendly stuff. So okay. Got that. Now what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to create a video upload section. So now we need to have our user be able to upload the video. Okay, our Streamlit file, it's going to be the file that we upload. Use a file uploader. So this is going to be just creating a UI aspect so that the user can upload the file. Let's put a type. We want it to be MP4 AVI and a MOV file. All right, we've got that. Now we need to create an if statement, basically to save the file to a temporary file. So if uploaded video is not none, then let me just put a little file. Okay. Let's go title equals, it's going to be the title is going to be the temp file. Dot okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to let's actually call this the T file. The T file, just the temp file. Just making it easier. Dot write is going to upload video, and then we're going to read that video. And then we will close back the file. So it's just allowing us to read, just reading the video file. And what we're going to do next is we're going to process the video, and then we will just display the first image, just to kind of show the user make sure that the video is correct. And then we're going to use base 64 frames for that. And video, video to base 64 frames. T file. So now that we have that, we're going to create a function for this later to call this. But this is all just processing the UI and the Streamlit application. So let's show the image to the user. It's going to be the base 64, B64 code. Let's then wrap it in the base frame. So we want to show just the first image. So here, put an object, put 0 the first frame. All right, let's put it in a caption. Caption's going to be first frame of the video. Okay, now that we need that, what we're going to do next is we're going to need to create a generated description of the video. And so I write my code like this. I just kind of write it all out in the UI, and then I'll go back through and write the main functions to be called back into the UI. So we need to generate a description of the video. So what we'll do is we'll write description. Okay, and then what we'll need to do is we'll need to clean up the temp file. And so that will just be, we'll just do os unlink file dot name. Okay, now let me look at this. Let's see. All right, I think that's everything. I think now we need to go in and write our functions for these. So now what we need to do is we need to create our video base 64 frames function. So let's do that. Let's define a function to base 64 frames. And then we need to recall it to our video path, our video file path, I'm sorry. All right. And so this is where our logic is going to go. So let's call it video. So what we need to do is we need to use OpenCV to capture the video from the given file. So video equals CV2 dot video capture. And we need to have it to call our video path file. That's going to be the uploaded video. And then we just need to put an empty object here for the frames. And so what we need to do next is we need to read each frame of the video and encode it as a JPEG, and then convert that into a base64 string. So that way that Python can understand it and then sending it to the API. So while video is opened, let's do success frame equals video dot read, and then if it's not successful, it'll just stop it. Success break. Now we just need to add this little buffer part. Buffer. This is where we're going to encode our video. So to encode we need to do a JPEG dot JPEG, and then it's going to do the frame. Okay, let's do base64 frame. Is going to be base64 dot. So this is just converting our image into a string so that Python can understand it. That's really all. Decode? No, we need to encode. Encode. Let's call that buffer. And then we decode the timestamp. Okay. All right. Next, we need to go here. We need to grab the frames and then append them to the original frame. So we're essentially just putting them together, recoding, encoding, and then putting them together. Okay. And then we will release the video and then return our based frames. All right. So that now you can see that we call this function, so we're calling it back into our UI. And next what we need to do is we need to go through and create our generate description. So what we're going to first do is let's create a function called generate description. This is going to take our base64 frames and then send it to the API. Okay. So let's try. And then we're just gonna put our prompt message in. And again, I'm just grabbing this code from the OpenAI's API documentation. Sometimes it's wonky on Chrome, so maybe you might have to try to use a different way. Okay. We've got our prompt there. So all we need to do is put in a response now from this request. And again, a lot of this information is on the OpenAI documentation. This is where I'm grabbing this from. And then what we'll do is we'll write some error code, except in case you get errors, just make sure that it reads it. And then we'll show the error on the console of the UI. So anytime we use ST, remember that's Streamlit. So that's just writing front end code with Python. Okay, OpenAI error. Try again. Because sometimes the API does time out on the Vision. It's brand new, so it's still a little. It's still a little in beta. And then what we can do is we can include the error details. And then it'll just be whatever the error is, it'll show up there. Okay. I think I need to move this. No, this should be good there. All right, and then let's put a retry button. Let's return generate. This will just rerun the function, just to have us rerun it again. And then return. Lastly, what we need to do is we'll need to create a way to call this function, all of this main function in a at the end. So main, this is pretty standard in Python. Main. Let's do this. This looks like it's out of place. Okay. All right. Now let's just run it, see if it works. Let's see if we can get it running. So we just run Streamlit, run app.py. I think I know why. There's no... That's Python for you. Finicky as hell. Finicky as hell. All right. There's our UI, and there's our upload video. Get that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a video that we have here. Just simple this video. So the idea is to see if it can give us like the title of the book, because I didn't say it in the video. So let's see if it can do that. And again, it should load our first frame, as we see here. And here we go. And there we go. It's going to give us a full description of everything that's going on. I mean, to me, this stuff is wild, but it's just the idea that it can literally just pick up the title of the book. Like, that's the exact title, and that's exactly who it's by. Even talking about the condition that the book's in. And so again, this is just a very simple Python tutorial. I wrote out the code step by step. I hope this helps. Also, follow the blog if you want a better understanding of the full code. I'll also put the repo in there for you as well. Excited to see what you guys build. Stay tuned.